Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Tim and this is Tim the Trailman, and today I've got another product review for you. Today we're going to be talking switch controllers and the benefits of them, why you might consider having one of them in your build, and then comparing the Switch Pro 9100 to the Garmin Power Switch. Real quick, none of this video is sponsored. I paid full price for the Switch Pro 9100 at $600 and I paid full price for the Garmin Power Switch at $500 as of this filming in 2023, and that's the price that they're going for. So neither one of them have paid me to do this. I just wanted to get this video out there and let you know which one I decided to go with and why you might consider going with a switch controller if you don't have one already. Okay, so some of the benefits of a switch controller are going to be that you're going to want to be able to control multiple lights, accessories, air horns, backup lights, light bars, ditch lights, anything else that you might think of, even a refrigerator, that you can power up from the battery with ease of access to some buttons, whether it be a physical switch panel inside the car or a device such as your phone or tablet. The alternative is going to be running multiple power wires from your battery or a bus bar to all the different switches, to all the different accessories, grounding every one of those switches, grounding one of those accessories in a variety of different places. And then ultimately what will wind up happening is you can have all those wires running straight to your battery power terminal and straight to the battery ground. That's going to look messy. It spells fire disaster all over it. Those are the reasons why I think that a switch controller is important if you're going to be doing an off-road build and wanting to run multiple accessories with the ease and access and the tidiness in the engine bay. So let's jump into the specs of the Switch Pro 9100 and the Garmin Power Switch, and then we'll go over what's in the box. We'll open them up and see what they ship with. Each one should come with everything that you need straight in the box to be able to plug and play right into your vehicle. Okay, so first the specs for the Switch Pro 9100. As I already mentioned, it's $600 brand new full retail. You very rarely can find them on sale. Switch Pro has been around for a while. They're one of the more popular and more expensive brands to go with as using a switch controller. And so let's see what some of the features are. First off, this one, the 9100, is a 8-button controller. They do make a 12-button controller. I don't have that many accessories, and most people don't run those in a on-road vehicle / off-road, maybe in a buggy or something like that. Within those 8 buttons, 4 of the circuits are going to be 30 amps each for rating. So that's going to be able to handle some of your heavy duty or light bars. Heavier duty? Heavier duty? Heavy dutier? 4 of the buttons are going to be able to control 30 amps per circuit. 4 of the other buttons they're going to be able to control 20 amps per circuit. So if you do the math, that's roughly 200 amps that you should be able to turn on all at one time. It does say online though that at any given time, you can only run about 125 amps through the controller at once. So choose wisely which ones you turn on and off at one time. If you do pop the breakers, it's a solid state component. It'll reset on its own. Another benefit is there's no physical fuses, but the circuit is protected. Another one of the benefits is that it does have physical buttons to plug and play inside your dash, and you're only going to run one wire through the bulkhead out to the controller in the engine bay where all your accessories are hooked up. So the alternative would be running wires, powers, and grounds to like 4, 5, 6 to 7 different switches inside the vehicle. That's going to take a lot of time. That's going to be a ton of wire. That's going to be expensive, and it's going to be messy. And then if you have to troubleshoot it, you have to troubleshoot every switch, every power, every ground, and find out where it rubbed through or cut. With this, you can just run the accessories to the controller and then the switches on the inside. So I don't know if you've ever put anything through the firewall or bulkhead on a vehicle, but you're under the dash, it's cramped, it's not that fun. So that's another benefit of having a controller, one wire in this instance, through the dash, and you're done. Okay, a couple quick negatives for the Switch Pro 9100 in my opinion. As I've seen them installed, the rules are for Switch Pro to keep your warranty, they cannot be mounted horizontally. There's some connectors we're going to take a look at, and if it's mounted horizontally, water can drip in potentially through the connector, and then that water sits in the connector, and they say that will ruin the component. And if they find out that you mounted it horizontally or flat, then they're not going to warranty the device. So it does need to be mounted vertically. That's going to limit some of your options in your vehicles. The other thing that I find as a negative is that out of the Switch Pro, there are going to be wires for the circuits. So you can wire directly from your accessory to it using blade connectors or spades, or you can use a butt connector, solder, however you want to do it. But that extra wire is just kind of messy. You actually have to connect 2 wires together for the 30 amp circuit if you want it to be 30 amps. I believe if you just use one of the wires, it may be half the amperage. I don't really know for sure, but I do know one that I installed in a friend's car. You have to put 2 wires together for each 30 amp circuit, and that's all provided in it. The alternative for that, if you don't want to hook directly to the wire, is you can run the wires to a bus bar for the power circuit to the accessories. So then within that, the wires on here would never be cut more than once. You would just put an eyelet on it, connect it to a bus bar, and then you would run your accessories to the bus bars. You could change in and out pretty easily. So a little bit of a negative to have the wires, I think. It's just more to go wrong, more to maintain, and it makes it a little bit more messy under the hood. There are companies that make tray systems that you can hook the Switch Pro to, where a bolt to the fender, then you can run your bus bars and things like that. It can be well organized, and it's a great option for it. Just know that's not sold with Switch Pro. It's just accessories that you could purchase. So once you buy the Switch Pro, you could be in it for a couple more $100 and wiring and all of that. Okay, enough about the Switch Pro. Let's talk about the Garmin Power Switch. Garmin's a very popular company. They make everything from GPSs and other devices for marine, automotive, aviation, and things like that. And I didn't know they actually made a switch controller for the automotive industry, or really any other type of vehicle that you want to mount it in or control a lot of stuff to it. They only have 6 controls or 6 circuits on the panel, so 3 per side. The difference between the Garmin Power Switch and the Switch Pro is each circuit is actually rated for 30 amps. So 30 times 6 is 180 amps. You'd be like, that's better than this at 125. On their website, Garmin says you can only run 100 amps at any given time. So choose wisely there again. If you have all 6 circuits and they're going to exceed the 100 amps, you can't run them all at once. It does have internal circuit breakers on it that will reset if you do blow it, but just know that there's a limit to how much amperage you can run on that. It could be a pro or a con in your opinion. Let me know. This one does not actually come with physical buttons. There's no controller that you run a wire through the firewall like the Switch Pro. It's only controlled by devices, whether it be your phone, a tablet. It does work with the Garmin Overlander, but this one is strictly controlled by devices, Bluetooth connectivity, not any buttons on the inside. So that will keep the inside of your dash clean, less work under the dash, but you're gonna have to have something to turn them on and off with. There's another cool feature that I'm gonna show you once we go to open this up, and how you might be able to attach a button or two if you want to run something inside the dash. The Garmin Power Switch also does have physical buttons on the front side of the panel, so you could push these buttons if you're under the engine bay or wherever you mounted this to. If you just want to quickly push that, it will turn on the circuit. Other than that, no physical buttons provided with the Garmin Power Switch. Okay, so that's enough about the specs. Let's open up each box and kind of go through what's in it and see what they provide and how you could possibly wire it up to your vehicle. And let me know if you think the price is worth each one. There again, this one's about $600. This one's about $500. Okay, first things first, this is gonna be your main unit from Switch Pro. That is gonna be the power circuit in from your battery. And then there's gonna be some wires here. Let's get them out. Nothing in the box. They do provide fun stickers to place over the control panel, so then you can label the switches inside the car and you'll know which ones are your ditch lights and which one's your roof rack, which one's your low bumper, this, that. So that's provided in the box. Okay, this is the button panel that you're gonna mount inside your car, depending on if you drive a Ford, a Jeep, a Ram, a Dodge, a Toyota, a Chevrolet. Many different companies make tons of different plastic moldings that will replace factory stuff inside your car for this to mount to. If you don't have one of those, then you can mount this. There are some screw holes in the back that you can put this anywhere inside the car. It is nice and compact, but those are gonna be your 8 buttons that you can program. They do light up from the back, and then you'll know which ones to use or push with the stickers to control whatever lights or accessories you want. This is a mounting plate that's also provided for the piece in the engine bay. So this is gonna give you some options to where to mount this. Remember, mount it vertically so water does not get inside these connectors. If you mount it like this and Switch Pro finds out, warranty over. They do provide zip ties. They do provide piggyback fuses for backlighting. They do provide some of these splice pieces where you splice into an existing wire. I'm not a fan of those. And then there's some other butt connectors and things to attach to the different wires from your accessories to the Switch Pro. This is going to be your battery positive cable straight from the battery to the Switch Pro. They do recommend going straight from the Switch Pro to the battery. It does have an inline fuse, so effectively from here to here is fused, from here to here is not. They do provide some wire protection. This looks like maybe some Tech Flex or a different company, but you can run this over for abrasion resistance. That's in the box as well. This wiring harness is going to be for inside the dash, so you're going to run it from the Switch Pro into the button panel and plug that in. So this is the only wire that you have to feed from the engine bay into the dash panel and then plug in the button controller from the inside. So that's an easier way to do it than running multiple wires to multiple buttons. Okay, and this is the last thing that's in the box. This is the harness. This is going to plug into the Switch Pro, and then here is all your loose ends. The instructions do have color coordinated which wires are for which circuit. So maybe the 2 gray wires are going to be for a 30 amp circuit. Those look to be a larger gauge. And then maybe the blue wire is going to be for a 20 amp circuit. It's all labeled inside the instructions. But that's everything in the box for the Switch Pro 9100. Let's move over to the Garmin Power Switch. Okay, so this is the Garmin Power Switch. We're going to open up the box and see what's in it really quickly. This is the controller that's going to go under the engine bay. This has a pair button for Bluetooth and then 6 buttons to turn on the circuits. And the way that you connect the circuits to it is each accessory is going to go to here and then ground and power. What I was going to tell you a minute ago, but it's easier to show you, is there's actually 2 input circuits right here on the controller. And so their thought behind it is, hey, if you want certain accessories, say maybe some Raptor lights or maybe ditch lights or backup lights to come on with an input, let's use reverse lights as an example. You can run a wire from your reverse fuse, whether it be piggybacked or soldered in, to this. Then anytime this circuit sees an input of voltage from the reverse signal, what it'll do is whatever you've programmed with your device, it will turn on the circuit. So if it's in reverse and you want all the lights on your vehicle to come on, you can go ahead and have all 6 circuits turn on, of course, not exceeding the 100 amps. One of the negatives is that you don't have buttons inside the car. Then instead of using reverse lights or markers or headlights as inputs, you can go ahead and put a button inside the dash, run the button after it's clicked to send voltage to this input, and then it will turn on anything like that. So that's my thinking behind it. Garmin's made it basically any input that you want can do pre-programmed settings. So I find that pretty cool. I think buttons 1 and 2 would be quick inside the car. I think no buttons is a downside. I don't always have to flip through my phone or open up a device to turn it on. But that's how those 2 circuits work there, 6 circuits on that. Okay, let's see what's inside the box. Instructions. There's a lot less inside this box than what that 9100 had. So if wires and things like that are intimidating, then Garmin might be the way to go for it, because there's this, and this, and you're good to go. So inside this little bag, there are some ring connectors. So you're going to hook these to your accessory wires, ditch lights, fog lights, whatever you want. And then that will go ahead and connect to the circuits. That's how that works. Here is your power wire. It's very similar to the 9100. You're going to hook it up to the battery with the big lead, and then the little lead is going to hook to that. It is fused at one end, but let's go ahead and open this up. Okay, I got that opened up. All right, so from the Garmin to the battery, this part's fused, this part's not. So kind of a fused wire, similar to the 9100. This is going to be your ground wire. They do recommend it as well to run straight from the power switch to the negative on the battery. Don't run it to a chassis ground or something else, but just run it straight from the Garmin to the battery. And that's all that's in it. They don't even provide hardware for mounting the box inside your car. I've seen a couple of videos. They do just run screws into it, into a fender panel like inner fender or on top of the fuse box. This could be mounted flat or vertically. Garmin doesn't really care. Kind of a plus there. So a lot more features. It's also more compact than the 9100. But as you see, no cables to run through the firewall. So if you love Bluetooth stuff, then the Garmin's gonna be the way to go. Okay, so that I've gone over all the specs and features that I saw on the website and the pros and cons to each one in my opinion. Feel free to agree or disagree with me in the comments. And now for the main question, which one am I going to use in my 4Runner? That is going to be the Garmin Power Switch. I want to go with Garmin. I've got tons of products from them, whether it be lifestyle stuff such as watches or GPSs or dash cameras. I use Garmin all the time, so I was excited to find out about this. This is a newer product, so I don't know how long it's going to be supported or how well it's going to work, but I do know every time I've called Garmin, their customer service is spot on. So that's a huge plus for Garmin. It's also $100 cheaper. I do lose 2 circuits, but right now I don't even have 6 things on the 4Runner to use. The Switch Pro 9100, I want to go over a little bit of that in another video of why I didn't go with it. And in the next video, I'm going to install this, show you how to do that on the 4Runner, and also tell you a little bit more of what I've learned between the 2 Switch Pro 9100 and the Garmin Power Switch and the people that I've talked to help persuade my decision on the Garmin. The 9100 is great. A big shout out to my patrons on the channel. Thank you so much for your support. That means a lot to me and the channel. And if you'd like to find out more on how to become a patron, please head over to patreon.com/TimTheTrailman. If you want to see more product reviews, please tell me in the comment of what you'd like me to review next or put on the Forerunner and give feedback on it. If you'd like to see more content like this, please hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button so you'll know when the next video comes out. And as always, thank you for watching.